Me, Renee. I'm back. And as you can see, today I have a Faceoff book recommendation video. In other words, short, quick reads. Because this weekend, well, I suppose in case you didn't know, Faceoff is a part of the Amazing Readathon, which is a month-long readathon happening all through June. And in Faceoff, the thing is that in the rest of June you can use books you've started before, but in the Faceoff weekend you have to start and finish them during that weekend. And also Faceoff weekend, it's all about the books, not about how long they are. So it's about like finishing books. It's not about long books. Usually you get points per how big the book is, the book page. But this time in Faceoff, it's about just it is a book. It has to be all 50 pages. Other than that, just whatever, really, whatever. So yeah, I decided to help you guys. And I do have some videos before from like with quick reads. I thought, why not make a new video? And yeah, I have this video is gonna be might be a bit long. I don't know how long I will talk about those books, but yeah, some of these are fiction, some are non-fiction, um, some are like shorter, some are longer, but like they have more pages, but they're quickly read. So it's a bit of this and a bit of that, really. And I suppose some people want to participate in Face-Off, but don't really have time to read a lot of books. Then you can just pick one or two books that you feel like you'll be able to finish during that weekend. Well, this weekend. So yeah, I mean, quick can be quick in a lot of ways. It could mean like you finish it in 3 hours, or it can mean you finish it in one day. So that's up to you, really. Uh, sorry. And let's start recommending. First, we have The Governor's Gambits by Erica Ridley. This is a prequel story set in her a wild Winchester sibling series. This story, it's about 150 pages, and at the end there's a sneak peek of the first book. But yeah, this main story is 150 pages, so not really that big. It's like it's empty. There's like area in there, so it's not like filled with font all over. It's not a book with pictures, but like sometimes you start here, and yeah, I would say like this. I would say you definitely could read this in a weekend. Now, I suppose I can't know how fast you read, but like yeah, if you're gonna read one book and finish it during a weekend, this is not a bad bet. And then we have Odd Girl Out by Laura James. This is an autobiography by Laura James, of course. She was diagnosed as autistic as an adult, and this is her looking back at her life, her childhood, but also like the recent years, like the years around when she got her diagnosis. Uh, like she got her diagnosis during Brexit, so there's a lot of talk about Brexit. So Brexit trigger warning. I don't know if that's trigger warning people. Maybe it is. So yeah, it's not the newest book out there, but it's a good one. And it's 220 pages. So yeah, I suppose yeah, the font is a bit small, but yeah, it's fastly read. So yeah. And then we have some fiction books. We have On the Fence and Listen to Your Heart. And okay, we have those two. Yeah. We have those two by Casey West, same author. These are YA romance books, YA summary reads, I would call them. They're all set during summer or like spring summer. This one is okay, yeah. This one is 300 pages. This one I believe is shorter. No, it's not. For some reason, this was shorter. But yeah, this is 280 pages, so a bit shorter than this one. But yeah, this is kind of I suppose, yeah, kind of Cinderella retelling. And this is a bit of a You Got Mail retelling. So if you have into that, pick up one of these. And then we have, sorry, A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher. This is also one of the host's favorites. At the moment, I'm looking out on whose favorite it is. Is it Breeze? I don't think it's Breeze. Anyway, yeah, it's one of the host's favorites. I've also read it myself last year. Loved it so much. Also, very good on audio if you like prefer audio. This is 302 pages, so it's on the longer side. I don't know, how do you find longer side? Side note. I'm kind of having a think like this video will be like me talking mainly about like books that are under 300 pages, or like, yeah, at least not 500 pages at the maximum, because I feel like if a book is 600 pages, you can't read it quickly, no matter how many pages you, no matter how many pictures are in it. So yeah, but this one, yeah, I read it last year and I read it like in 2 sittings, and it has short chapters and it's very fast paced, and yeah, I just love it so much. And I feel like also, I suppose if you're one of those people who can't read a lot of books in a few days, if you want to participate in Faceoff and just want to pick up 2 books, you can do that. Also, you don't have to read all the books. But I would say choose this one as one of the books because it is amazing. Then we have the Guernsey Potato Peel Society. Well, what do you call it again? Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society. So yeah, so Potato Peel Pie Society. This is a book told in letters, so a epistolary story. So I would say in that way it's quite quickly read, and it's also, yeah, it's 221 pages, so not long at all. It's set in 1946, 47, like around like at the end of the Second World War, and it's set in Guernsey, which is an island outside of the UK, but it's part of the UK. It's also been made to a movie, so if you kind of like to read books and then watch movies, I would say do that. And the movie of this one is also charming and nice, and it's not one of those like, oh my god, you destroyed the book. No, the adaptation of this one is well done. So yeah. Then then we have Cream Buns and Crime, which is a collection of short stories. There's also some recipes, so it's kind of like a collection of different stuff really. But like all in all, it's 260 pages. But like some parts of this is a quiz, some parts of this is like there's like 2 short stories. Or are there more? Let me just double check here. Blah blah blah. There's short stories, and then there's also like some mention about Agatha Christie and like the golden age of crime. So it's a mix of essays, or like essay things, and also fiction stories and whatnot. I would say this, if you already read A Murder Most Unladylike, definitely the book for you. If you haven't read it, that series, still check out this one, because I feel like you could read this one and not be, what's the word again? Not be spoiled. So yeah, fun place to start really. Then we have Adrian Mole, here represented by the Wilderness Years. So Adrian Mole is another one of those books where it's written in diary form. And at least for me, I feel like diary form books are also often very quickly read, because they're often like maybe 2 or 1 paragraphs in one page. So like, yeah, I mean, so they're often like not that very long. So yeah, this one is 260 pages. So again, not very long. It also has like pictures here and there, so it's not like 200 whole pages. So yeah, sort of words everywhere. And yeah, Adrian Mole was actually also credited as being like some part of inspiration behind Bridget Jones, which I suppose I kind of can see. Like, he's also a guy who thinks a lot. Though Adrian Mole, the books about Adrian Mole start when he's a kid, while Bridget Jones starts when she's an adult. And Adrian Mole, I think the first one starts when he's like 12, and the last one, I think he's a pensioner. I'm not quite sure. I honestly, I kind of stopped reading all of them because I kind of lost interest after a while, because I feel like there's like 7, 8, there's quite a lot of them. I do. I mean, the first 2 or 3 books are very good. So yeah, and also yeah, they are quick reads. And then we have Demigods and Magicians, which is a collection of 3. I'll give you a moment. Yeah, 3 short stories in the Rick Riordan universe. And in this one, Percy Jackson and Annabeth and Grover meet, blacking out, Carter and Sada Kane. So they meet like the kids from the Egyptian mythology and meets the kids from Percy Jackson from the Greek mythology, and they fight gods together or fight evil together. And it is, all in all, it is 200 pages. Again, quite manageable, I would say. Sorry. Then we have Sophia Khan and the Baby Blues. This, I mean, it's a novelette, so it's not like a big story. It's 160 pages, so again, not big. But there's a caveat here, because this is the third in a trilogy. I'm not sure, well, trilogy, maybe she write more after a while. But yeah, right now this is the last book. So, and even though like the first books in this series were normal sized books, and this is a shorter one, so I would say like pick this one up either if A, you don't mind spoilers, and B, you have read the first 2, because I mean this one takes place after the first and second book. So if you just jump into this one, you'll be spoiled. But I suppose you could read this one, then read the other ones afterwards. Obviously, that's the way to do it. You don't have to read it in order in that way. And I mean, it's the third in a romance book, so you know that all the books before have ended in a happily ending. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna stop myself there. Also, this series I suppose is maybe more like a feel good than romance, because it's not just completely romance focused. I would say it's can be described as Bridget Jones, but like a Muslim protagonist. I would say that's kind of similar. I would say kind of vibe of it. So yeah. And then we have Desire and Deep Blue Sea by Olivia Jade. This one is, as you see, quite quick novella. It is 120 pages. It's a story that's completely standalone. As was say that, and I'm thinking maybe it's not, but I feel like it's like maybe these characters show up in other stories, but like you can read this one and not have read other stuff. I read this and I read some other Olivia Jade books, and I didn't really feel like I was trapped. I wasn't confused reading this one. I wasn't. So yeah, if you want if you want if fake no fake relationship story, and if you want a story with like enemies, not enemies, slightly enemies to lovers story, and if you want fat rep, this is the book for you. Then we have a series of in the same vein, so I'm going to do it together. We have How to Marry a Werewolf. We have Romancing the Inventor and Romancing the Werewolf. So these are all novellas in the Personal Protectors universe. These 2 are in one part of the universe, and this is in another part. This both of these are supernatural love stories. So here is a vampire and a human, if I'm not mistaken. No, yeah, pretty sure that's it. And these are 2 werewolves. And then you have a werewolf and American heiress who's scandalized. And all books I highly recommend. They're all, yeah, this is 170 pages. Then you have 190 pages. So they're all just under 200 pages. This is 180 pages. So yeah, quite quick reads. I believe you probably can find them in in ebook form, audiobook form, also probably in your library. They all came out a few years ago now, but I don't think they're out of print, so don't Don't take my word on that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, if you, I suppose also, if you live close to a big city, you can probably, I would say, find this in a bookstore in a fantasy shelf. I think you would find this really. Yeah. Then we have men to avoid in art and life. Now this you might think, mm, mm, because yes, this is art. This is one of those like art picture books, well, adult picture books. Can you call it that? I don't know. So it's someone who's taking pictures from real life art, the art collection of the world, and they put captions to it. So it's just quite a little text. I suppose if this counts, but like you are allowed to use comic books. So I would say like this is comic book-ish, and sometimes there's a bit more text. I don't know. Bree, if you're watching this and you're feeling like it doesn't count, tell me. But I suppose if it doesn't count, you can just check this one out later on because yeah, very good for a laugh, really. Then we have the Little Book of Oscar Wilde, which is basically Oscar Wilde quotes. He is actually kind of more or less famous, more famous, I would say, in a way, for his quotes, like they said in interviews, than from his work, though he's famous for both. It is 190 pages. But yeah, it's just kind of like introduction, and then you have let's just kind of put into different. It's in different categories. Then you have a quote, pictures, a quote, decoration. That's it. So yeah, fast read. Then we have Book Nerd, which again is very picture based. It's kind of like, I suppose, in a way, memes in a book. And then sometimes it's a bit more text, sometimes it's more, yeah, it's a bit variety how much text it is. It is, I believe, 50 pages. It doesn't say here pages here, but yeah, I think it's around 50 pages. And again, the rule here is it has to be at least 50 pages. So this one works. Then we have a book that I did not have, I think, on my last video about like shorter reads or quick reads, because I read it quite recently. It is Losing It, Sex Education for the 21st Century by Sophia Smith-Gaylor. Sophia Smith-Gaylor, I found her on Instagram. She's both on Instagram and and on TikTok and yeah, different social media. She's a journalist, like a freelance journalist, as well as a writer. She's written this and one more book. Has she written other books? I don't quite remember. Anyway, yeah, she's written this at least. And this is all about sex education and like, and I suppose in a way the modern sexual life in a way and sexual myths. And you might think, oh, this is just about sex positions and stuff. No, this is about sexuality, not just about sex like positions. It's also about women health. It's about birth in different parts of the world. It's about abortion. It's about sex in the big ground scale, really. And it is like it's written both like it's both, I would say it's both informative but also at times very funny and enlightening and all the things really. It is 205 pages, so yeah, not a very long book. So yeah, give me a moment. Then we have Art Matters by Gail Carriger. Sorry, mixing up my Carrigers, but mixing up my games. Neil Gaiman. So Neil Gaiman has like this is kind of put from his speeches and whatnot, and then Chris Riddle has illustrated uh, books, quotes. So you have small quotes and whatnot, and it is this one is. Give me a moment. How many pages is this one? I think maybe it's about like 100 pages. Is it? What it said? It doesn't say. Okay, yeah, it's around. I feel like it's 90, 100 pages around there. It's at least say it's at least 50 pages, if not mistaken. I don't think it's less than that. So yeah. Then we have The Book Lovers Miscellany which is one of those books. It's with not that many illustrations, but it's sometimes there's give me a moment. I'm gonna find an example here. Come on. Sometimes there's lists, so like here there's famous opening lines, and then you have like the most stolen books in the world. Like so you have lists of different books. You have fun facts. Yeah, it's kind of like different things regarding books really. So yeah, highly recommend this one. It is 120 pages. So again, not a big read. Then we have Stonebroke Heiress, which, as you see, is one of the bigger books. Again, bigger in parentheses. But it's like a quickly read book. It's just under 300 pages. It's kind of like think Legally Blonde, but it's set in Liverpool in England. But it's kind of the same vibe. It's well, yeah, completely. It's kind of the same vibe. It's a rich woman who has it all, and then she has to start again. She has to. So I suppose in Legally Woman she starts again by going to university. Here she starts again by getting a job because suddenly she's not rich anymore. And yeah, it's very fish out of water, very very funny, and yeah, I just love it. Honestly, one of my favorite reads in these last few years. Maybe. Yeah, it's one of my favorites ever in my life. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. It's just, yeah, one of those amazing, amazing reads. And then we have The Case of the Missing Treasure by Robin Stevens. Again, from the same universe as the one before. This is just one short story. It is 150 pages. So again, quite quick read. And it's also a middle grade story, so I suppose that depends if it's a middle grade story or whatnot, because it's 150 pages, so no matter what kind of age range it is, it's still quickly read. Well, I suppose if Ernest Hemingway wrote a book about 150 pages, that would be fake. I don't know. Anywho, yeah, a quick middle grade mystery. Check this one out. Then we have All Wrapped Up and Team Geek, both in the Geek Girl universe. This is takes place before the first book. This one takes place between the third and fourth book. Don't quite know, but yeah, around there. And yeah, it takes place during the winter, so I suppose, I don't know if you're in the mood for this. Maybe you're watching this and you're in Svalbard. There won't be snow there now. Maybe you're watching this and you're in Alaska. I don't know if there's snow in Alaska right now. Anyway, maybe you're in the mood for something wintry. I don't know if you are. Or you could pick up this one, which takes place during spring, I want to say, not winter. So yeah, this one, as you see, it's a bit longer. It is. Give me a moment. 150 pages. And then Geek Drama is, oh yeah, 130 pages. I suppose just a bit shorter. And then we have The Fifth Gender by G.L. Carriger, which is Gail Carriger under a different name. This might look smutty and whatnot. It's not that smutty, but it is a male romance slash mystery. There's also a mystery in it. It's a sci-fi novel, well, sci-fi novelette, because it's 200 pages, so yeah, quite quick, and honestly also one of my favorite reads of all time. And here I'm not exaggerating. This is perfect read. And then we have Death by Demin by Lina Garber. This is the first in a trilogy, YA mystery. This one is 190 pages, so quite quick. There's quite short chapters, so it's fast read, and yeah, check this one out. If something that you can check out, that you want to check out. And then we have Little Grey Cells, which is Poirot quotes. So yeah, this is quotes from the character Poirot, not from Agatha Christie. So yeah, if you If you're in the mood for like something quick, I would recommend to check out like quote books. There's quite a lot of them out there, I would say. Quite a lot. Yeah, it's not a few of them at least, I think. I feel like. And I think like a lot of them you can find also on audio. That kind of many of them takes like 1 hour or like 1 hour and 15 minutes. So yeah, that's an option. Then we have Loki, a cruel god's guide to uh, being bad. This is another one of those diary form books. So day one, and this one also has quite a lot of pictures. So that makes it quick read. Yeah. This is the first in the series, and honestly, I would say this is the best in the series, at least in my mind. But yeah, it's quite fun. It's kind of like what happens if Loki. It's kind of I suppose in a way, but yeah, think of Apollo, the trials of Apollo, but make it Loki and make it funnier. And kind of, yeah, I would say this is like mostly funny. There's some danger now and then, but it's mostly a funny story, fish out of water, funny story. So yeah. Then we have the Titanic Awards, which is just kind of stories about worst traveling experiences. Sometimes there's with text, sometimes it's more graphs. Yeah, like there. And it's about like awful traveling and by boat, plane, buses, whatever around the world. And it's under 200 pages. So yeah, quite a quick read. Then we have been through quite a lot, but not all the books. Give me a little moment. Move on to some more books. Then we have Bargain Bin Romcom by Lena Norris. This is a poetry book. Came out 2 years ago now. Yeah, like 2 years ago. And it's like sometimes it's long quotes, longer poems, and sometimes there's moment. Sometimes you have shorter ones, but anyway, it's poems, so you can read them quite quickly. And also, often I think like poetry, it's so droll and boring. This is not. It's very funny, and some of it kind of reads like a stand-up in a way. And yeah, definitely check out this one. I'll say. And then we have the Stonewall Riots comic book. Let's say another comic book. No, I feel like it's the first time I mentioned about them. But yeah, I have some comic books now to recommend. And yeah, this is based around Stonewall Riots, as you might guess. It's about someone who talks about them and then talks about the Stonewall Riots, and then they go back in time travel wise. We don't really see how that happens, but it happens, and then I see what happened and whatnot. So it's a cool way to like learn about Stonewall Riots if you haven't really done that, or just a fun way to read a quick story. It is 100 pages, so yeah. Another queer book is Pride by Tim Tate with LGSM. So this I talked about before, maybe you're new here, so yeah. So first there was a thing that happened, and then they made a movie about it, and then after that, because you see like actors here, and after that, Tim Tate decided to interview the people who were there when it happened, but also he cashed in and used the actors for like the front cover, and he also has yeah, there's also some pictures in the middle here from like when it happened. And yeah, I think like, oh, what happened? So in the 80s, there was a big strike in Wales with the miners, and after a while, they didn't really get help and support and whatnot. In the same time, you had the AIDS epidemic also in Europe, and also like the AIDS and also the kind of general queer rioting and stuff in London. And there was this group of queer people who decided to have gather money for the miners in Wales because they're both minorities. So they started to help each other, and yeah, it's a story of solidarity of minorities and coming together. And yeah, so this book is just, as I said, did I say no? As I said, it's a book about Tim Tate, and he introduced the people that were there when it happened, like started this whole dealio. So it's just introduced. It's in due form. I would say in that way it's quite like quickly read. And I would say also if you have watched the movie, this one kind of gives you more insight into the real life Delio. So still check out this book. And the book is 280 pages. Again, on the longer side, but it's a quick read, quite quickly read. So yeah. Then we have Dear Reader, The Comfort of Joy of Books by Kathy Retzenbrink. So this is an essay collection. Is it one long essay? No, it's several essay collections, but it's the same collections. It's several essays about reading, but it's by the same author. And it's 220 pages. Again, not a big read really. And then we have The Sea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. Well, she published it, or they published originally under Katie O'Neill. Now it's Kay O'Neill. But yeah, my version says Katie O'Neill. It's a very lovely comic story, and yeah, as a lot of people have talked about this book, it's just a must read. So yeah, and it is. I feel like it's probably like 50 pages, so just about works into this rules, into this reading dealio. We'll do that afterwards. And then we have Word Wraps by Paul Anthony Jones. So Paul Anthony Jones has been on, I think he's originally a journalist, but he's also been on Twitter where he kind of gives small language fun facts, both about English language but also about languages in general. So this is those kind of Twitter things put together in a book. So here we have Twitter thing, and then sometimes you have a bit more context to it. But yeah, it's just often quite short tidbits. So I would say, quite a quick read, and also fun, enlightening, and yeah, I recommend this book. Definitely recommend it. I won't talk about it, but yeah. Then we have I'm Only in It for the Parking by Lee Radley, or Lost Voice Guy. He's a British comedian who can't talk because of how he's born, but he's still, he has some trouble walking and whatnot, but he's still like, his mind is there, but just he can't talk himself. So he writes his stand-up, and then automated voice comes out. And yeah, this is about his life as a disabled comedian in the UK. And yeah, everything he knows about life, laughter, and disability. It is 220 pages. Again, quite a quick read. Sorry. Then we have Heroic Failures. The Ultimate Book of Heroic Failures. This is a bit of a longer side. It is, it's under 300 pages. It's 260 pages. But it's a story. It's a book about like anecdotes about real life things that have happened. So, for example, that and I'm blacking out, but that Taika Waititi movie, Next Goal Wins, that's based on real life, and it's also mentioned here about the team in Oceania who never won a football match. They lost like 0-31 one game. So that story's in here, and other hilarious stories like that. It's both stories from 1800s, but till very recent stories, and highly recommend this one. Sorry. Then we have Librium Ridiculum, which is a compendium of bizarre books. So you have the book cover, and then you have kind of information about the book. So this was gathered by an antiquarist, a guy who looked at old books. Antiquarist. antiquarian, no, antiquarian. Yeah, you understand me. But yeah, it's basically just kind of covers and then the titles and then more information. And yeah, and it's all real books and yeah, very, very funny, quick read. It is, how many pages are there here? 130 pages. Give me a moment. And then we have The Breadwinner by Deborah Ellis. I read this one myself when I was 11, so it's been out for a while. Take a guess how old I am? I suppose you can't, but I suppose you could, maybe. But yeah, it's based upon the war in Afghanistan, and so it's all about Taliban. The main character, Parvana, she has to pretend to be a man or a boy to go to school and also like to get a job and whatnot to help her family. And yeah, it kind of gives insight into Middle East and being a girl in that time. And yeah, it is 160 pages. It's a middle grade story, 160 pages. It's also a movie that came out a few years ago now. Haven't watched that one, but it exists. So yeah. Give me a moment. Water is important. And this became quite a long video, but I love good recommendations, really. Then we have The Cursed Carnival and Other Calamities by Rick Riordan and other authors. So this is a short anthology collection by Rick Riordan Presents authors and Rick Riordan. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 stories. It's all middle grade stories. And yeah, so they're also, I would say, that also kind of makes them quite quickly read. And yeah, quite recommend this one. And then we have, sorry. And then we have, I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to use example because this is Norwegian book, just came out, so it's not out in English, but yeah. This is Norwegian kids book about sports secrets. So it's kind of very picture focused. So like if you want to read lots of books, I would say go to library and go to kids section. Then you will find quite a lot of books that are quickly read, fast read. And this one is 100 pages, so it does definitely does work. Yeah. Then we have a Stephen King biography. And yeah, it's a kid's biography, but yeah, it's like also like if you want something quick to read this weekend, kids biographies, quite a good way to go, really. This is 178 pages, so on the longer side, but not like very long. Yep. Then then we have Jamie by Aldi Lapinski. Aldi Lapinski, I believe. I'm not missing here. Yeah. Oh, is they? Okay, I don't quite know if Aldi Lapinski is queer. I believe they might be. They use they, but that doesn't really necessarily mean anything. But anyway, still, the book Jamie is about a queer middle grader who's not a girl or a boy, and they're going to start a middle school. Which when they start middle school, they have to choose between a boy school or a girl school. And the school that they're going to at the moment is a mix of like different genres, but when they go to the next level, they have to choose, and it's like, where will they go? Because rules or whatnot, like because they're not a girl or a boy. And yeah, it's quite a good book about revolution and about activism and about gender, and yeah, loved it. And then we have Do You Speak Chocolate by Cass Lester. I found this one randomly in my library a few years ago, and I still kind of think about it every now and then. It's about a girl from Syria. She comes over like after during the whole shebang with the Syrian war. She ends up in England, and she hasn't really talked too much English before. So she's like, new, getting to know like how does England work and whatnot. So it's her story about being new in a new country, not only language, but it's also a story about Jazz, who wants to be your friend, but in start they can't communicate because they don't have a language to communicate in. So it's kind of very much pointing and laughing, using Google Translate and miming and stuff. But it kind of also shows that you can have a nice time and you can have a relationship, friendship, without having all the big words to talk about. You could still have like a nice friendship underneath there, and like yeah. So this one, highly recommend. It is 250 pages. Then, give me a moment. Right now, I'm gonna show you two Norwegian books. Like, what? Why are you showing Norwegian books? No, because both of these have been translated to English, but they have the same cover, and I couldn't find the English version in the library. So, yeah. So we have Kvinner i kamp og kaller. Sorry. So Women in Battle and the Patriarchy Falls. Both of these are, as you might guess, feminist-based comic books. They're both non-fiction. This one is about girls around the world. It's 100 years, 150 years of freedom, similarity, and sisterhood. So it tells the story about Malala, about Ada Lovelace, about getting the right to vote, all these different people who fought. Yeah, and it kind of also tells you about like when people got the vote and whatnot. And yeah, highly recommend it. And then here we have like a story about like general feminism, but also around the world, not just Norway. Some of the books by Marta Breen is based around Norway, but these two are, I don't know, these two are based around the whole world. So yep. And then we have Genderqueer by Maya Kubale. If you have not read this book, it's been out a few years now. It's also been banned, so just because of that, you kind of know it's a good book. I mean, that's a good way to know if it's good, book is good or not. But yeah, it talks about like the search for identity, search for gender and whatnot. And yeah, read it last year, loved it, highly recommend it. I found The Girl from the Sea myself, have not read it myself, so I can't say if it's any good, but it's a comic book, so comic book goes quickly to read, so yep. And then we have Throne of Fire and Serpent's Shadow, which is the second and third in the Kane Chronicles series by Rick Riordan in comic book form, because I love that one as a trilogy, and I thought, why not reread it in comic book form? So I suppose this bit of hint into like what I'm gonna read myself this weekend. Yep. Then we have this Stjerner i mørket. Is it? Give me a minute. Blah 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 blah. What? What? Yeah. When Stars Are Shattered. So this is a comic book based around being a refugee in Kenya. And yeah, so that looked like an interesting read. Anyway, this is just me kind of talking about comic books. They're great. And then we have Brazen, which this one I have read. This one is one of those female biographies where you have, instead of having a page and a text, you have it's told in comic form. And yeah, I love these ones. And yeah. No, a moment. Then we also have Pages and Co. by Anna James. This is the first in that series. It's a middleweight series, but it's like lots of air, and then you have a moment. Come on, give me a moment. You have pictures here and there. This one is all about a a teen who she can travel into book by reading them. She can literally travel into a story. So it's perfect for every reader who loves to read. Reader who loves to read. I don't know, I'll say that. Yeah. And yeah, also quickly read. It's a lot of pictures in it. It's short chapters. Highly recommend this book. It is 305 pages. So you know. Yeah. Also what about this one? But you have also Shendis Crush, which sadly I don't think exists in English at the moment. But I do know it exists in in Swedish, Danish, German. I want to say Finnish. I'm not quite sure, but at least those languages. So if you're watching me and you know German, or if you are German, check out this book. It's a lovely middle-grade summer romance story, and yeah, I highly recommend it. It is just under 20 pages, and that, my dear friends, my great recommendation for the Face-Off this weekend, or just if you stumble across this and you want a quick read, also pick up any of these books, I would say. And yeah, I'll see you soon. And I also hope that you are having a good reading month if you're doing your Amazing Readathon or not. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.